Yo, what it is? Hey, thank y'all for stopping by the house again, man. Uh, this is Rough House Boxing TV. I am that boy Box, and me and the wife, just got back. Beautiful early dinner. She wanted to go to Olive Garden, so I had to take baby to Olive Garden. Sometimes you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. But hey, y'all smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Tell a friend about me. About Rough House, man. Tell them to stop by the house, man, and like and subscribe. Check us out over here, man. That's what it is. But you know what? Sometimes I sit and I contemplate and I think about the world of boxing, the state of boxing as it stands today. And uh currently it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. You know, uh fights that are happening, fights that are potentially happening, fights that aren't happening. Uh war of words back and forth, issues with promotional companies, sanctioning bodies, uh, you know, things, just all kinds of stuff going on right now. And it's kind of like a soap opera or a movie, saying so many plot twists and turns and things of that nature. And then I was just thinking to myself, I was like, man, what would it be like if boxing was the way that we want it to be? Meaning the boxing fan, and primarily I'm speaking about the LDBC, but the true boxing fan. Because I feel if you're a true boxing fan, then we're probably going to be of the same mind in terms of wanting the best to fight the best, straight up and down. Dudes to stop ducking, sanctioning bodies to stop making rules on the fly, whatever. Some people clout chasing and using each other's name when they really don't have any intention of fighting them, all that kind of stuff, man. But what if there was a perfect world in boxing? You know, so I was thinking about that, and a few things crossed my mind. So in a perfect world, you know, in a perfect world, the 147 pound division would mix it up more than they do. Um, Errol Spence is the boogeyman on the block. Terrell, Terrence Crawford is boogeyman 1.2 or 1.1, I should say, on the other end of the block. And then you got all these other fighters in 147 that are standing in the middle of the block, chasing each other around in circles or waiting in the bushes for each other or hiding under the porch or whatever. But by now, Garcia and Porter could have been done. Uh, Keith Thurman could have been back in the mix, you know, fighting Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence. That could have been, you know, hashed out already. And we could well be on our way to Spence Crawford. Yeah, we know Bob Arum is a roadblock or a T barrier in that happening. But this is a perfect world I'm speaking of. In a perfect world, we could be well on our way to that. You know, um, let's see. In a perfect world, Mikey Garcia would clean up 135. Yep. He would clean up 135. He would fight Lomachenko, and whoever else is still at 135. We know he just fought Robert Easter Jr. Maybe even rematch Robert Easter Jr. But and then he would take the next step up, the next proper step, which is 140, where there's Regis Prograis, Josh Taylor, what I'm saying, and fighters of that caliber there, you know, collecting bags and belts along the way, but he is bypassing that and going straight up and walking the Green Mile up to 147 to meet the wood chipper, aka Errol Spence. Mikey say he hardwood. We'll see. In a perfect world, AJ would take on all comers. Right now, his maneuvers and his moves and the tactics and the route that he's taken is completely leading him away from Tyson Fury, Luis Ortiz, and Deontay Wilder. In a perfect world, we would probably have seen AJ and Fury fight already, or AJ and Ortiz fight already, and we would be well on our way to seeing Wilder and AJ fight right now. That contract would have been signed, sealed, delivered. They both be in training camps. There would be no Povetkin, ish thing going on right now, and somewhere around October, November, that fight will be happening. And the build up will be happening right now. But in a perfect world, yeah. And what else? Oh, in a perfect world, the sanctioning bodies will operate transparently, fairly, and honestly. We've seen where sanctioning bodies have uh, imposed rules on some fighters that they won't impose on others. It was funny how the WBA came in and told AJ, "Hey, you got 24 hours to sign this fight with your mandatory Alexander Povetkin," which and if I'm not mistaken, the super champion doesn't even have a mandatory. But they conveniently came up with that, and and that derailed the Wilder Joshua negotiations right there, on just right on the verge of it, coming to fruition. They jumped in with that. You wouldn't have, on the eve of a fight, promoters having big, 5-course, 5-star dinners with sanctioning body heads and judges and things like that. Hey, think about this. The night before the Super Bowl, and let's say the Steelers are in the Super Bowl, and I don't know. We'll say the Cowboys for all y'all Cowboy fans out there. All right. Just think if Mike Tomlin, coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and and Art Rooney Jr., or Art Rooney II, I should say, the night before the Super Bowl was having a paid dinner with all of the referees, the officials, and the head of the officiating committee. The Steelers, they got this big spread they've already paid for, and they whining and dining and yucking and chopping it up and all of this with the referees and the head of officials and the rules committee and all of this, man. Would that be acceptable? No, it wouldn't. But in boxing, you get that, and you get that frequently. I was watching an interview from Teddy Atlas, and he was talking about how that's a common sight the night before a big fight. If you know where to go, if you know the right restaurant, or you just happen to go into the right place, you'll find that. Shouldn't be that way. Like I said, fairly, honestly, transparently. You know. Trying to think what else right here. Yes. In a perfect world, promoters would not stand in the way of big fights. Wouldn't happen. Um, Eddie Hearn wouldn't be standing in the way of AJ Wilder. Bob Arum wouldn't be standing in the way of Terrence Crawford and whoever, or Lomachenko and whoever, Mikey Garcia or Errol Spence or whoever, all because uh they don't like dealing with Al Heyman, you know. Uh Canelo, nobody was standing in the way. Oscar de la Spatula over at Golden Piss Productions, he wouldn't be standing in the way and protecting uh Canelo from some of those monsters up there at at, at 154, you know. But in a perfect world, in what else? In a perfect world, fighters would take their own careers into their own hands. Now I get it. Some fighters aren't capable of that. You know, some fighters actually need a promoter. For as much you know grief as we give some of these promoters for doing some of the crooked and unusual and strange and you know non-understandable things that they do, some of these fighters need those dudes. They really do because they can't promote themselves, and they they would be nobodies without those promoters. Man, it's a sad fact. It's a sad fact. But some of them need a promoter, and especially some up and coming fighters. You need a promoter up until a point. But once you get to that point, all of these fighters should uh do like Lennox Lewis did, do like Floyd Mayweather did. Well, no, I can't say Lennox Lewis. I can't say Lennox Lewis, but like Floyd Mayweather did, like Errol Spence is currently doing, like Deontay Wilder is currently doing. You know, those boys, if they want the fight, they are gonna make the fight happen, and no promoter is gonna tell them, "Well, no, no, you don't need to go that route. Let's go over here and fight this guy." No, if he wants that fight, he is going to make that happen. He meaning the fighter who isn't controlled by the promotional company. You know, and I honestly believe that in a perfect world, fighters can have promoters and still be in control of their careers. If they want to fight bad enough, they'll make it happen. But a lot of these dudes just fall in line like little robots and yes men and I don't know, like property rather than the actual brand that they are. You know, realize your worth in this sport. Realize, yeah, you signed a contract to fight so many fights under that promotional company's banner. But at the same time, that promotional company does not own you or control you. You fulfill your obligations the way you see fit to fulfill your obligations. If you want to get at somebody in the ring and that promoter is telling you, no, 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 hey, stand your ground. Man up. Stud up, like my man Black Fight fans say. Stud up on them boys. Don't take no for an answer. Too many of y'all bow down and take no. The first no that you get. Yeah. But what else? In a perfect world, HBO would not be trying to push these Eastern Europeans on us as the next saviors of boxing. Real talk. Man, the boys, uh, for some reason, they got an Eastern European fetish, and they are determined to be able to hold up a Lomachenko, uh, 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 a Kovalev, a Derevchenko, anybody with Inko in the ending part of their name, a Triple G, you know, it if you're from over there, HBO wants you and they want to hold you up high. They want to hold you up for the world to see and say, this is what a champion fighter looks like. This is what we provide to the people. This is what we present to the masses. But they had Floyd Mayweather, the highest selling ticket in boxing while he was active. They had Andre Ward, you know, is going to go down as a Hall of Fame great, you know, one of the best ring IQs, you know, in this era of boxing, undefeated fighters, you know, but those aren't the ones that they want to push, you know. Shoot, they had Oscar De La Hoya while he was fighting, you know, but he wound up leaving them too. I'm trying to think who else. No. I take that back. That was Top Rank that had Oscar De La Hoya at one time, and he wound up leaving them. So my bad. I messed that up, but I'm too deep into the video to go back, start over. But there's examples out there, you know, of HBO's agenda, HBO's Eastern European agenda, HBO's uh neglect in promoting, branding, elevating the status of black fighters. It's there. You know, I'm so glad Alvarez, you know, beat the brakes off of Kovalev. Hey, I told y'all from now on he is no longer the crusher. You are not legally, you are not allowed to refer to him as the crusher anymore. From now on, he is the tickler. Coochie coochie coochie. Sergey Kuchi Kovalev, the tickler. That is his title from now on. That's what's up. Last but not least, in a perfect world, you would like and subscribe to Rough House Boxing TV, and you get one of your friends to do the same. You know, and then one of their friends would do the same, and then one of their friends would do the same. But that's what it is, man. In a perfect world. I appreciate y'all coming through to the house, man, and chopping it up with me, man. Hit that like button, smash that like button, Hulk smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and do me a solid, man. Hey, the next time you're talking to anybody about boxing at all, man, hey, tell them you got a place they can go and come chop it up and get some good boxing news and views and opinions, man. Right here at the house. Rough House Boxing TV. I am that boy Box. And that's all I got. Y'all get out the house now, man. Go and do whatever it was you were doing before you came, man. All right. G.